80 odd runs. Bashir Ahmed is not in the squad for this qualifier.
Guided away off the outside edge. The Nepal fans are going to cheer every run that they can get. Yeah, it was a 3-run victory. Sander Rowan was in the runs that day. The quadrangular series played out between Nepal, Kuwait, Hong Kong and Qatar. But they were in a terrible position, Nepal. They were 92 for 8, and Bashir Ahmed nearly pulled off a miracle alongside Nandan Yadav, whose batting continues to improve.
That is what he's working on. He has a very good bowling. He's bowled very well throughout these last year or so.
Really good start, outstanding start from Farouk. Just 2 runs from the first over. Good side Kuwait, very much on the rise in the World Game, particularly again in this format. We spoke about Qatar in the afternoon game and how they really have a focus primarily, not solely, but primarily on the T20 format, and that kind of plays to their strengths. And this is a man to watch. He took 2 for 24 in that quadrangular series final. Yasin Patel is there.
Yes, he is. Very economical as well, left-arm orthodox. He doesn't give that air. He just bowls stump to stump. Very accurate.
Just to give you a sense of the disparity, Yasin Patel today is 53rd T20I. He's actually only played 16 List A 50-over games. Kuwait, of course, don't have ODI status. They're down in the Challenge League. So they've such a focus and such a prominence and preference for T20 cricket. He's got a wonderful record, career economy rate under a runnable at 5.95, and he'll often strike here in the power play. He's going to go with the slip and play, and then we've got 5 fielders in a ring on the offside, so only 3 fielders on the leg side field. And he's going to keep that impeccable line outside the off stump.
He doesn't get so much of turn, but his accuracy is impeccable. He just comes and bowls, starts it in.
Just see that field there. It's rare you'll see a spin bowler bowl to a 6-3 field. Some seamers can do it, particularly away swing bowlers with that control. But what both batters, both right-handers will consider doing is stepping outside the off stump and unleashing either the sweep or the slog sweep to exploit that leg side. Obviously we'll get a single down there. 3 fielders in the leg side, deep mid wicket, long on, and then a short fine leg. So every single field of the offside's up in the circle, including the slip.
It's because he doesn't get that turn. He's just bowling with the arm, the ball getting into the right-hander. That is why the field is set. Now the slips has been taken off. He's into short mid.
Slight change in approach, I suppose, for the 2 batters. They know that Kushal Patel is probably someone who prefers the sweep shot a little more than Asif Sheikh. But a good start this from Kuwait. I think a big toss to win. Both sides wanted to bowl. That's what Rob Powdell said at the toss. And all of these dots in the power play will help build up the pressure.
This is what Nepal doesn't want, dot balls in the first 6 overs.
There is that sweep, yeah. He enjoys that shot. You would suspect for Nepal, with the depth of their batting, they'll want these 2 to attack in the power play.
They should attack because the only 2 fielders are allowed outside the 30-yard circle in the first 6 overs. So they might take a risk and attack in the first 6 overs. But Yashin Patel, as we said, he's a very canny bowler.
Inside edge, that could have gone anywhere. And a fantastic start from Kuwait continues. Only 4 runs from the first 2 overs. Nepal, 4 for none. So welcome along to the coverage. If you haven't enjoyed either the morning or the afternoon game, this is the 3rd game of 3 on the opening day. And we'll just try and explain the structure a little bit to you. 9 teams are coming together across 21 matches here in the beautiful Sultanate of Oman. They're separated into 3 groups of 3. We're here in Group B. The first action coming from Group B. We saw Group A action with the UAE, the tournament's leading ranked side, just about doing enough over Qatar. Oman beat Samoa this morning. And then in terms of the rankings, Nepal will be the favourites in this group, but we're expecting upsets throughout. It's important to get off to a good start because you'll carry your result through against the other side that qualifies. Top two from each group go through, and then we go into a Super 6 stage where you'll play 4 more matches against the top two in the other two groups. So in Nepal or Kuwait's case, that'll be against Group A and Group C. And then we'll end up with a Super 6 table. You kind of look at Qatar and Samoa's position now, both of whom have to play tomorrow. They lose and they are out. It's a cutthroat format. Bertel goes through the offside, gets probably just the single.
He didn't time that as much as he liked. Just got the toe end of the bat. Lucky didn't go straight to the fielder. Farouk is getting a nice shape away from the right-hander. The pitch is helping the medium paces that we saw in the first game as well. UAE bowlers and even Qatari bowlers bowled very well the medium paces.
Slip continues in place. That's Rajiv Sandarawan. As the short ball hits him right in front, and that's going to be given. Rashid Riaz had no hesitation at all, and Farouk gets good reward for a fine start with the ball. Haven't seen any success yet from batters trying to play across the line in any of the 3 contests, and Sheikh is going to fall early. That was going to go on and crash into middle and off.
Exactly. Very straight delivery. Tried to play across the line, completely missed it. Asif Sheikh has to depart. Right in front of the middle stump.
Has kept a little low as well, hasn't it? And that will be a concern for all the batters who will watch that dismissal. Shakes early, the first one to fall. He's gone for 2. It's 5 for 1. Just one more look at this replay here. I don't think it's hit the bat, has it? Back leg, going to go on, and what, 2/3 of the way up the stumps, hit middle and off.
Yes, it sure does.
Captain will come to the crease. Young Rohit Paudel. The weight of expectations of the nation of more than 30 million people upon of his shoulders. He's someone who seems to take it in a very graceful manner. But he identified very much in the build-up to that West Indies series that whilst that was a glamorous occasion, that inaugural Unity Cup, that this was the big focus, qualifying for the World Cup again. As the outside edge is beaten, I think he's just played inside the line of it. And I think he and all of his teammates, even Stuart Law, the head coach, will admit that they will not come to this qualifier expecting to qualify easily. There's going to be many tough games, and Kuwait are proving that already.
Yes, that's very good channel by Farouk. Bowling outside the off stump, outside the off stump. Ball swinging away from the right-hander. Rohit Paudel playing inside the line of the ball.
Yeah, special night for Paudel as well, with it being his 50th match as captain of the nation. He's captained his country in this format more than anyone. Paris Kadka in second with 27. Lamachani 18, Gyanendra Malla 12, dating all the way back to that first T20I in the T20 World Cup back in 2014 up in Bangladesh. Gully now comes into place. That's how extravagant the movement has been. He's got a good record too, doesn't he? Only lost 18 of those 50 matches and plenty of wins in there. He's a fine young leader.
He is a very fine young leader. And talking about Kuwait, this is what they should do. Nepal already 1 down in the 3rd over. Just 5 runs on the board. There's a slip and a gully. Good attacking field for the outswinger.
I'm really impressed with the start from Kuwait. Many call them sort of the dark horse, the underdog to watch in this competition. As another one goes past the outside edge, Farouk has it on a string. Nepal are in early trouble. It's 5 for 1. Just one more look at this, just to explain it. So all of the 9 sides will only play 2 group games initially. And then they've got to make sure they win at least 1 to win and guarantee yourself through to the Super 6. You've got to win 2. Only win 1, you're in big trouble. You're relying upon a bit of fortune potentially. Bertel goes to the power sweep, gets a good piece of it, and will get the first maximum. More like it for Nepal. Little bit off the higher half of the bat, but he goes with such aggression and such confidence. He gets 6.
This is what Purtel can do to a left-arm spinner. Just comes across the stumps and slot sweeps it over mid-wicket boundary.
Back live with you now and beats the outside edge. Really good piece of bowling. He adjusts always well, doesn't he, Yasin Patel?
Slightly slower through the air this time around on the off stump, and there was a hint of a turn as well. Good contest between Yashin and Patel.
Yeah, slip is out of place now, and there's 5 fielders hovering in a ring. They're all probing in there, trying to apply the pressure, cut off every run that they can. Bertel's return to form with the bat is still very much worth his place in the side, even if he's not in form with the bat. But his return to form with the bat to go alongside his fine leg spin bowling that's improving, and indeed his outstanding fielding. It's a real boost for Stuart Law.
That is what he did in the last match against West Indies last week. Scored 39 runs, and he was unlucky to be given out by the umpire that particular day.
Pedal gets off the mark, confidently down towards long on. Having seen what we saw in the afternoon game, I know it's early stages of this contest, but we probably don't think it's a 170, 180 track, do we? You're talking about the kind of surface. Average first inning score, just a shade over 150 here. It looks like a surface that if you got 150 on it, you'd be confident that your bowlers can defend it.
Yes, if you get 150 odd or even 140 plus, Nepal has those kind of bowlers who can defend that. It's all about the first innings batting that Nepal should do.
Good bowling, keeps it away from the attack zone and the strong zone of Bertel. You could see he was itching to go to the sweep or go inside out over extra. Gets us to the end of the 4th, and Nepal continue to be in trouble in this power play. 13 for 1. Great to see the fans in. They always come in good numbers. Expecting a big crowd apparently on Friday. The Nepalese community is coordinated to come in their hundreds a day off work. As Farouk continues, and this is an exceptional opening spell. He attacks Powdle with a swinging ball, and a crooked bat coming down causes issues for the skipper.
He's not that expressed, but he's found his line and length, and the ball is shaping away from the right-hander, pitching on off stump and moving away. It's particularly hard. The length is back of the length. The batsman thinks that he should go forward or either back.
Throw at the non-striker's end is a direct hit, and Powdle is not just going to get 1 from this. I think he'll get 2. That's brilliant reaction. And the outstanding running between the wickets that we saw from Nepal and their brilliant work in the field will be a big factor tonight. We saw that throughout the Unity Cup. Great awareness to turn a dot into two.
Rohit Paudel just took 2 or 3 steps. It was a direct hit. The ball ricocheted off the stumps, and it could have been a dot ball, resulting the second run.
Great stuff from Mohammad Akif Farouk. Good start from him. He's been very much all over the right-handers. You do just wonder the Kushal Malla role. We saw him open in one game. That was with Asif Sheikh having been left out in the Unity Cup. But wonder when he will come in. As Bertel picks it up into the night sky and flies it away all the way. Second maximum. And both have belonged to Bertel. That was even more impressive than the first one. A good strike and more like it from Nepal.
He picked up the length very early, Kushal Patel. It was not that short. He picked it up on the front foot, heaved it down to wide long on for a maximum. A good pickup shot.
Yeah, lovely to see the colour of the Nepal fans in always. The most beautiful flag you can ever imagine. The only one in the world that's not rectangular, remember, as a tribute to their gorgeous mountains. As Bertel tries to go again, not going to be 6, but it will be 4. Just a couple of bounces across the outfield. He looks in really good touch. And just maybe a case of an over too many for the youngster. Just 17 years of age in his second T20I, back-to-back boundaries.
Coming down the track, hitting it on the up, Kushal Patel over mid-off fielder for a boundary. 6 and a 4, 13 runs off the first 5 balls off this over.
Yeah, really good batting. And Bertel coming back to form, back in his favourite role. They kind of... In 2024, they played with him a bit, didn't they? Because of his lack of form, he went up and down the order. He went down, I think, at one point as low as number 7. He's a natural opener. He's good at exploiting the power play. And this is where he belongs. Little change of pace, probably a slower ball from Farouk. Will make it 14 runs from the over, the most expensive of the innings thus far, and Nepal are finally up and running. It's 27 for 1 after 5. Tell us a bit more about the month of September. Paresh, we won't touch on the politics too much, but the protests across the country obviously have created a wave of change and a hope for a brighter future for the nation.
Let's hope for the best, that we get a brighter future. It was all against whatever the politicians were doing.
It was all driven by young people as well, wasn't it? Very much across Nepal.
Yeah, the very young people under 28 years of age, they've done this protest and were successful.
And it seems like the vast majority of those in the Gen Z are big cricket fans as well. So no doubt they'll be watching on avidly, and great to have them alongside us. Going to see some leg spin for the first time today, actually, in the 2 games that we've seen. We didn't see any wrist spin in the afternoon clash. Navin Rajendran will come in with his right arm leg spin, slightly unorthodox, a little bit off the wrong foot. But we heard Mohammad Aslam, he spoke at the toss about how he wants to back his spinners. So that's not just Yasin Patel, that's Navin Raj here. We'll see, I suspect Mohammad Aslam himself have a good ball, and they have a couple of other options too. Meet Bab Sark and ball, those are the left arm spinners as well. Plenty of spin options for Kuwait. Well, that's a drag down and really a free hit for Rohit Paudel, who gets his first boundary, helps it round the corner.
That's Rohit's favourite shot. Going down on his knees, pulled it up behind square on the leg side for a boundary. A half tracker, nicely dealt with by Rohit Paudel.
Guided away, that's a shot that Rohit Paudel, well, he plays as well as anyone. It's such a touch shot, it's a touch of class. The late cut, it's so difficult to play if you haven't batted up at this level. Uses the width and the pace on the ball to guide it away for 4 more.
Played it very late, almost played it from the keeper's gloves.
And all of a sudden, a power play that was going nowhere finally has some momentum. I thought it was strange not to continue with Yasin Patel. Now works it into the leg side, won't get a single this time. You talk about a desirable target. Do they want more than 140, despite the assistance the bowlers have been getting, 150, 160?
No, they should have the cushion of 150 runs on board to defend it.
Oh, right into the block hole. It ends up missing everything, and the keeper himself can't get a glove on it. I think it cannons somewhere off his body and will be given as buys. Great to have Phil Gillespie here, all the way up from Australia, as one of our standing umpires, standing alongside Rashid Riaz, all overseen by Ken Tanham, the ICC match referee. High quality umpires out there, two of the best going around the circuit, Phil Gillespie and Rashid Riaz. Great to have them here. And I was talking to them just before the start. They were both really looking forward to this competition. They think it's going to be an absolute quality one with some really good cricket. And the thing that you and I love, Paresh, a bit of drama. We're going to have plenty of drama. They're going to get an overthrow. They've turned what should have been a top ball into two. Outstanding running between the wickets again.
Yes, they run between the wickets very, very well, Kushal Patel and Rohit Patel. After 6 overs, Nepal 39 for 1. The power play is done. This is the highlights of the power play. The first wicket to go, Asif Sheikh, trapped in front. 2 sixes by Kushal Patel. And 2 boundaries by Rohit Patel. It was a mixed bag power play for both the teams.
Yeah, good acceleration though from Nepal. They benefited from that. It was a slightly loose over from Navin Raj. A couple of good balls in there, but you saw the drag down to the leg side, then the drag down outside the offside, has given Nepal enough flexibility to be not displeased with their position. 39 for 1. That's the general scene here at the Oman Cricket Academy. It's a fantastic facility. One thing to keep your eyes on, just have a look at the big screen there, the top left. That's counting up towards 60 seconds. Something that Ken Tanham was good enough to tell me about in between the break. It's not actually a fielding penalty that applies if you, on 3 separate occasions, are given a warning by the umpire. The third time will be a 5-run penalty to the batting team. So the teams have to be quick in between their overs. It's to keep the pace of play going, something that's being trialled and now implemented permanently by the ICC. This one is cut away for what will be 4. A nice outswinger, but it was a bit of a loosener. And Powell gets on top of the bounce and guides it away pleasingly.
That was a very good square drive by Rohit Patel. Leaning to the shot, getting the placement right behind square on the offside. The third man fielder had no chance. Even the sweeper cover didn't have a chance to stop that.
Not sure if you caught the Stuart Law interview with the Hamro Khelkhud team. Who are out here, Sebastian Mungan and his colleagues, providing great coverage of the tournament to all those across Nepal. That was, I think, 48 hours before the start of the competition, after the second warm-up match. And he was asked about a lack of runs for Rohit Powell, and it was a pretty stern answer, wasn't it, from the Australian head coach. He said, "We have got nothing to worry about. Our captain, he will contribute absolutely when he needs to. He can turn his game on when the side needs it, can turn his strike rate around as well." And he got a couple of starts against the West Indies, but no really big scores.
That happens to a player, but it doesn't matter if you don't score runs until and unless the team is winning.
Good length this time from Anudeep, and somehow they get a single. The only way these two can get quicker between the wickets is if Dipendra Singh Airi comes to the crease, but the 3 of them really, Powell, Bertel, Airi, are lightning, aren't they? Probably the brand of cricket that Stuart Law wants these young Nepali players to play.
That is what the head coach wants. Very quick in between the wickets, and even in fielding, these 3 fielders are the best amongst all members, not only associate, but full members as well.
Short, wide, cut away again, just going to be a single. Yeah, they put on a clinic in that second T20I. I was doing a little wrap-up of the series with our colleague Sharad Vasakar, and I said I think I've been lucky enough to be at over, probably well over 1,000, over 1,500 international matches now. I've never seen a better fielding performance than that one 10 days ago in Georgia.
Yes, it was the second game. It was a massive fielding effort by all the fielders, all 11 fielders in the field.
Beats the outside edge. Now, Anudeep was the hero in that final between Kuwait and Nepal back in Hong Kong. I think he picked up 4 wickets that evening, and he's got a track record, a good track record against Nepal.
Yes, I think he took 4 wickets. He has a good outswing. His pitching is good. He bowls back of the length. He's not that express, but he bowls good balls. 7 runs of this over so far.
Oh, now half a chance. Not easy, but a definite chance. He gets a hand on it. And, well, given that he was following through to his left and he had to dive to his right, I think it's an outstanding effort. Nearly would have been as good a caught and bowled as you'll ever want to see, but he can't hold on.
Burdell tried to turn his bat, got the leading edge, got the half of the bat. It was a terrific effort by the bowler there, Anudeep. Couldn't hold on to it. 7 overs done, Nepal 46 for 1.
It's the batting card. Likely we'll see Kushal Malla at number 4. Sandeep Johra, his position in the order can be a bit flexible. Could come in at 5 or even down as low as 7, depending upon the situation that it requires. The only thing that they've done by going without carrying KC today is maybe just extend that tail a little bit. And Sampal Kami is high enough up there at number 8. Wasn't 4 for that Chantan Mara took in that final. It's actually 3 for 18, but he was named the player of the match. As Naveen Raj, with his kind of mixed bag of tricks, not just leg breaks, bit of everything in his delivery, is going to continue, and he now has that relief of 5 fielders outside the circle, having bowled his first over in the power play.
He looks like a wrist spinner, but he bowls 4 or 5 different deliveries with his fingers, with his wrist.
The modern T20 cricketer, isn't it? What they do. That's the leg break, and gets straight through him. Brilliantly bowled. It's the drift and then the dip that's accounted for Rohit Paudel, who ends up losing his leg stump. It was perfectly pitched. There was a threat of this in the previous over where Paudel couldn't pick up the Yorker, and Naveen Raj spears it in there to find Kuwait second. Excellent bowling.
Speared in, the ball drifting into the right-hander, into the base of leg stump. Rohit Paudel, after getting a start, he has to depart again for 16 of 15 deliveries with 3 fours. Nepal 46 for 2.
Yeah, it was a very clever piece of bowling, and I know he's not necessarily trying to hit this to square leg, but again, it's a batter playing across the line. Look at where he's trying to hit this ball. As the bat comes down, it will twist towards the leg side with a crooked bat, and we've seen anyone try to play across the line. I know he's been yorked this time across the afternoon game. The evening game here at the main ground has got themselves into trouble. Maybe a bit of something for Paudel to work on there, just to look more straight down the ground. Undone by a wonderful piece of bowling, and no surprise to see that it's a left-hander come to the crease to give a left-hand right-hand combination to help Nepal with Kushal Malla, the youngster recalled for the West Indies series, and showed some good touch there. Obviously he was playing down in the top end T20 as well, but from the international end, T20 is recalled in for that after missing out in Scotland. He'll have a big role to play at number 4.
Yeah, this is a good move by the coach, sending in Kushal Malla, the left-hander, to face the leg spinner and the left-arm orthodox, because Kuwait has plenty of left-arm options.
Slip comes into place, and again, it's the leg break. Not really a spinning leg break, is it? It's going to skid on, but it's the drift that he's getting that will cause problems.
That is what Rohit Paudel could manage, the drift. He yorked himself. He tried to play across the line. He could have played it straight.
Shorter, which will allow Malla to get off the mark. Cheer from the Nepal fans. Will Bertel attack Naveen Raj here with the field out, or happy to work it around for the moment?
Well, I think he'll be happy to work it around. Just give the strike to Kushal Malla, who's a left-hander.
If you're you're wondering the average first innings score here at this venue, about 151. So that's an average, obviously a cumulative across, I think it's over 67, maybe 68 if you include this afternoon's match today at this venue. Oh, now this is close, but a bit of bat involved will keep Kushal Bertel's wicket intact. Great move from Mohammad Aslam to keep Navin Rajan after an expensive first over.
Yes, a wicket already in this over and just a single given away. I'm very impressed with Aslam's captaincy, how he rotates his bowlers.
Oh, it's again that Yorker. Nepal are just not picking it up. It's a single and a wicket in the over. 8 have been bowled. 47 for 2. The night sky across the Oman Cricket Academy as you look at the bowling card. Just the 4 used thus far. Keep your eyes on Mohammad Aslam bringing himself into the attack at some point. Kushal Mala's role will be to sort of take him down if he can, and then there are plenty of other bowling options too. They won't have any shortage of those. For Nepal, it's a sort of tricky position here, isn't it? Under the floodlights, under a bit of pressure, going at a run of ball, thereabouts. They don't want to kind of get bogged down. They need to keep accumulating runs through these middle overs.
They have to do that if they want to post a healthy total, a respectable total, let's say around 140 to 150. That can be a defendable total.
Slip comes into place. Sander Awan there. Immediately trying to attack Kushal Mala, and Mohammad Aslam, the captain, on the hunt for wickets. This is good, proactive captaincy. Something we maybe didn't see as much from Qatar in the afternoon game, who really just kind of went through the motions once the power play was done. They fought hard, yes, but they kind of went to set plans. Bit of innovation here from Kuwait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fielders up in the circle, including that slip.
Yeah, Kushal Malla just in after the wicket of Rohit Patel. This is a very good move.
And causing a few problems. They'll know that Mala's much more devastating against spin, particularly left arm spin. That's his bread and butter, what he adores. But even just 2 or 3 overs of keeping things tight as we look at the field here will really aid Kuwait, although the slip now comes out of place and comes into probably a close catching mid-wicket.
I think Kushal Malla, he hasn't read the pace of the wicket. That is why he's getting those inside edges, under edges, not timing the ball well. Whereas Kushal Patel has recognized the pace of the wicket.
Really good fielding, outstanding diving stop. Sander Awan getting his body on the line and heaping the pressure onto Mala, now 1 off 5.
3 dot balls on a trot. Puts pressure on Kushal Malla. This is very good bowling by Anudeep. Into his second over, only 7 runs given away.
Will allow Mala to get off strike, but Bertel has just been a bit shy of strike, hasn't he, the last 3 or 4 overs? Kuwait getting the squeeze on very effectively outside the power play.
Yeah, that is because they have 5 fielders inside the circle, even though the power play is off. They want to take wickets. They want to put pressure on Nepali batters. That's very good captaincy.
If you're just wondering about the warm-up games for both these sides, we spoke a little bit about that in the afternoon as well. Kuwait's got a win. It was a tight win over the hosts Oman. They won by 3 wickets on the 3rd of October. That was end of last week. This one's punched down the ground. And then in their second warm-up game, they also got a win. That was over Qatar by 34 runs. Probably a slightly more impressive performance. Meet Bhavsar, who's such an incredible batter at the top of the order. He made 65. For Nepal, pretty much smooth going, and they'll be happy with their 2 performances. They were very comfortable victors over Oman, who only made 110 against them. Dipender Singh Airi in the wickets, Asif Sheikh in the runs, and they also got a 16-run victory over Qatar. It was probably a bit more than that because the second innings they just rotated their bowlers around. Kushal Bertel was in the runs that night. Mala misses out, be given as a wide just outside that guideline. In both games, Sandy Plamachani played, and in both games in the wickets. So, given all of the, I suppose, the media talk and the unknown playing the games against the West Indies, didn't play any of the three. That's a really good sign for Nepal.
Yes, it's a very good sign. Amongst the wickets in the warm-up games, Sandeep Lamichhani is a world-class operator. This is a very good over by Anudeep.
And Nepal are just happy to work it around. The 50 has come up, and at the end of the ninth, one more over to the drinks break. It's 51 for 2. Very good evening to you all watching the coverage. Great to have you alongside us. I know we'll have messages from all over the world, particularly when Nepal play. We tend to hear from their diaspora, not just in Australia, but places like Japan and Korea. All across the Gulf here, we see the fans in the house back in beautiful Nepal, and then in Europe and the Americas as well. There'll be people either staying up late in Australia, I suspect, or getting up very early on the west coast of America. So welcome to the coverage. You've got Andrew Leonard here alongside Paresh Lahani. Great to be with you. Paresh, everything we've seen across these first 9 overs is basically what we thought in the run-up to this tournament. No wins are going to come easy. Every game is going to have a few twists and turns, a bit of drama in it, and it's going to be a very, very tightly fought qualifier from start to finish. Do you even see any of the teams going unbeaten here?
No, I don't, because it's a very tight schedule. I mean, all the teams can beat any team in a particular day.
I think if you look at it as well, I know the rankings are always only a barometer or a guider, if you will. As Bertel cuts this away, but a good stop. Doesn't just save the boundary, but saves a single as well. UAE are top of the charts with their ranking. They're up with 179 points in 15th place in the world. So you can say that they're rightly the favourites, but equally they didn't qualify for the last T20 World Cup. Nearly chipped back to the bowler. And then Nepal in 18th, Oman in 20th, Papua New Guinea 21st, Kuwait 23rd. So there's actually only 5 places separating Nepal and Kuwait in the rankings. Then we got Malaysia 25th, Qatar 30th, and a bit of a gap to Japan 44th and Samoa 69th, the underdogs of the tournament. They lost this morning against Oman, but the rankings matter for nothing, particularly in these pathway events. It's all about the pressure. It's all about can you adjust and cope with that pressure. And Nepal are having plenty of pressure applied to them right now. They don't look comfortable out there. This is good bowling from Kuwait.
Yeah, it's exceptionally good bowling from the start by the Kuwaiti bowlers. And talking about pressure, every team, they play under pressure in the for the qualification. It is the qualifiers. That is why the extra pressure is being given to the team.
Just so much on the line, isn't there? It's everything or nothing. Oh, it's another one, and it's the Yorker. It's a specialised delivery that Navin Raj is targeting, and Nepal at the moment don't have an answer to it. It did Rohit Powdell, not once but twice. The second one bowled him. It did Bertel once that just missed, and now it's accounted for Kushal Malla. Outstanding bowling, and again it's speared in, and it hits the off stump.
Yeah, this was not a leg spinner. It was a seam-up delivery. Actually, it was an in-swinger for the right-hander and an out-swinger for the left-hander into the block hole base of off-stump. Kushal Malla has to depart for 4 of 9 deliveries. And it's time for a drinks break, and we'll take a break here in the commentary box. live now. Kushal Malla was clean bowled by Naveen Raj. Has taken 2 wickets already.
Well, they've gone with Sundeep Jura at number 5. Plenty of options. I did wonder whether or not they might replace one left-hander with the other and go with Gulshan Jha. Instead, they're going to go with Jura, who had one outstanding performance in that West Indies series himself. It gets us to the halfway stage with his first innings, and Kuwait will be the happier of the two sides in a very strong position. They have 3 wickets, and Nepal have just 53 runs. Well, whoever the DJ is, they know how to play to the majority of the crowd. But Dale Dale rings out around the Oman Cricket Academy. That was a blockbuster hit last year, wasn't it, Paresh, back in Nepal?
Yes, it was. There's a bowling change. Shiraj Khan Sharif is the new bowler.
Another one of the options with the spinners, Shiraz Khan. Beautiful bowler to watch, much more classical leg spinner than that of Naveen Raj. Yeah, Mata Dale Dale by Shantarani Pariyar. Felt like that was almost on repeat at the Nepal Premier League last year at points.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, really, really catchy. It's just maybe the catchiest song I reckon I've ever heard, that one. Even being known to sing along to it. No dancing, no Paresh. Definitely no dancing. Can't be doing that. Short and wide and cut away. Should get a couple here as Bertel's very quick. They might even think of a third with the misfield, but no. They will stick to 2. For Nepal from this position, where exactly do you think they can drive up to, Paresh?
Well, they need partnership. Not only a partnership, but they need boundaries as well to get to a respectable total. Losing the toss and put to bat. Shiraj Khan Sharif, he's a proper leg spinner who bowls with the wrist.
He gets good turn, doesn't he? He really does, and as a consequence, anyone who gets good revs on the ball will always get good drift. So he'll drift it into the right-handers and turn it away. Do you think Jora's played very well and 100% deserves his spot in this 11, but also up the order at number 5? But I just wonder whether or not they could have gone with a left-hander. Rashid Riaz not happy with the fielders in the deep, and having a long chat with the skipper Mohammad Aslam, who's at cover, just saying he does not want the throws to be coming in off the turf. Khan was interested there. They'll get a single. With Nepal's bowling depth, 140 could be enough, but it's not going to be comfortable.
Like I said, for the cushion, they need at least 150 on board.
Yeah, fascinating periods of the game. Again, the drifting, you can see it through the air. But not just to the game, Paresh, but because of the structure. I'm just going to repeat it again. Only 2 group games. You lose both your group games, you're gone home. You're back on a plane to either Kuwait or to Kathmandu. If you win one, you can go through, but there are scenarios where each of the 3 sides could win one. Then it will come down to net run rate. As the sweep shot comes out, but there is protection out there. So because of that format, you have to get off to it. And with you carrying the points through, as we've seen in most Super 6 structures, end of the 11th at 60 for 3. It's just so important to try and win your first 2 group games. I know it sounds like we're banging a drum again and again here. The Manhattan has shown not too much outside of those 2 good overs at the end of the power play. If you do lose your first one to Kuwait here, and you're a Nepal fan, you're thinking we're in real trouble.
Yes, you'll be in real trouble because you're playing against Japan the other game, and you'll be under pressure.
So we spoke about the skipper and his skills, fine leader. Also got a new bit of facial hair. What do you reckon on the mustache, Paresh?
It looks a bit different.
Looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, big fan of that. Good work from Mohammed Aslam. Not into November yet. There is the Movember charity. When we start with a real loose one, Bertel, because he'd come down, I think if he'd stayed where he was, he could have helped that round the corner for four. Mohammed Aslam gets away with it somewhat. A little bit like what we saw from Mujibur Rahman earlier for Qatar. Will come wide of the crease, quite round arm.
Yes, it's similar action like Mujibur Rahman of Qatar. Similar action, similar point of release, side arm.
As a consequence, won't get much turn. More will challenge the inside edge of the bat as much as the outside. Really round arm that time. One of the, I think it's 3 players in this Kuwait squad with Sri Lankan origin and heritage. Rajiv Sandarawan as well, and Mohammed Aslam, both having played some first-class cricket back in Sri Lanka, but he's been a fine captain for this Kuwait team. You spoke about how you quite fancy the UAE, Nepal and Oman as the 3 qualifiers. If there is someone to upset those 3, you think it would be Kuwait?
It's absolutely, because they are underdogs coming into the tournament. Like in T20, you never know what team will beat which team.
Down the track, and it's going to be stumped. Brilliant from Mohammed Aslam. He's pumped up. Marvellous glove work as well to go with it from Usman Patel. And it's such a clever piece of bowling. Beaten on the inside edge. Jora's almost expected some turn. And there's no doubt now that Nepal are in real trouble. They've lost a 4th wicket, and Jora, who was so good against the West Indies, he's got to walk back.
Yes, it's not a good sign to come down the track for a quick delivery like that. Beating the inside edge of the bat. A good glove work by the keeper there. Easy decision to be made by the umpire. So Nibzora has to depart for 5.
Yeah, real trouble now. 63 for 4. Nepal, and you can just see the body language there. Just get one more look. See the way it skids on here. Doesn't turn, and look at which side of the bat it beats. It goes in between the bat and the pad, just as we were talking about him challenging the inside edge. He's done that so well. You always take a risk using your feet against any spinners. He's probably not the right kind of spinner to come down to, because it's such a flat trajectory. Jora, he played with fire there to a certain extent, and he got burnt.
Yes, he actually did. Now comes in Dipender Singh Heidi.
This for me is a surprise. You've got a leg spinner and a left arm spinner bowling in tandem. Has to be Gulshan Jah for me. Instead, they've gone with Irie, so 2 right-handers come together. And I think Kuwait will be elated with that. They'll see that as an opportunity to continue to bowl some dot balls and build some pressure.
Yeah, I was expecting Gulshan Jah to come in after Sundip Zora got out. Again, flatter through the air. Wonderful fielding of his own bowling. Mohammad Aslam, the captain, leading from the front. 3 runs and a wicket in this over. 12 gone. Nepal 63 for 4. It's going to be Shiraj Khan to continue. 7 runs given away in his first over. This is his second, the 13th of the innings. Nepal in trouble, 63 for 4.
Difficult position here for Nepal. Got to scrap up to some kind of a total. Do bat a long way down, but the pressure is just being applied ever so well by Kuwait spinners. Could have a dramatic upset, a big turn up for the Bucks on the opening day. We nearly had one at stages, that UAE versus Qatar contest, but in the end, the Emiratis class showed. Nepal have it all to do from here.
They have. I think the wrong choice of batters to be sent. like you said, Lenny, left arm orthodox and leg spinner bowling. Left-handed should be the case.
Yeah, for me, I cannot get my head around that. However well Dipender Singh plays, and he's so quick between the wickets, he finds a way to get two there. Most people it would have been a single for, but Bertel's quick too. I just think you have to go to Gulshan Jad to take on the bowlers. Look at the running between the wickets. Irie's in fourth gear there. He's not even close. Look, he jogged the second bit of that second run. Remarkable speed. He's a dynamite. You cannot take your eyes off him. Now, good squeezing in the ring. Single saved.
Yes, that's very good fielding. And the last, the 2 runs that they took, the ball hardly crossed the 30-yard circle.
Got to give you one quick update. Paresh, you're talking about that ICC Women's Cricket World Cup game in Colombo earlier and how Australia were in such trouble. This is driven away for what might only be the single. Good line run by the fielder. At one stage, 76 for 7 in the 21st over. They somehow batted through the innings. Beth Mooney made 109, posted 221, and it looks like it's going to prove too much for Pakistan. So Nepal fans will be hoping that there's no upsets today, as it looks like Australia women will be more than good enough to beat Pakistan. The question will be, can Nepal beat their lower ranked opposition here? At the moment, they're looking in real trouble. They're only going at a fraction over 5 runs per over. They've got 7 overs left to work with. Where are the runs coming from?
One of these batters have to take a risk, score boundaries every over, a couple of boundaries every over, to if they want to score, let's say, around 140 to 150 runs. They have to start it now.
Good from Irie, reading the fact that the ball's not going to turn and happy to punch it down the ground for one. Bertel, for some reason, across the last 6 or 7 overs, has barely faced a ball. He seems like he's just not getting the strike. As a consequence, just lost his rhythm a touch in his innings. Will pick up a couple here.
Good running again. Purtel just trying to stretch his calves.
Real drag down and gets away with it a little bit, does Mohammad Aslam. Didn't quite pick the length up there, Bertel. Would have thought he would have gone to the power pull shot. Big gap between long on and deep mid wicket, probably 45, 50 yards between them. Nepal just not able to find the boundary at the moment.
Already playing down the ground, looking for a second, but it's not on. Purtel, 37 of 37 run-a-ball innings.
Haven't hit a boundary since the first ball outside the power play, Nepal. So that's, well, best part of 8 overs now without a boundary. And however difficult and tricky the batting conditions are, you can't afford to do that in T20 cricket. They've got to take some risk here and find out a zone to target. They're rebuilding with 1s and 2s, that's fine, but need to find the rope with some regularity to go with that. No real sign of a boundary coming yet, despite 7 runs coming from the 14th over. It is 74 for 4. Spoke about that depth in Nepal's batting. Gulshan Jha will certainly be in at 7 now, but don't have Karen Casey. Nandan Yadav might come in above Kami and Lamachani, depending upon the situation.
He might, if you need quick runs from his bat, he might come in front of Sandeep Lamachani. But I don't think he'll come ahead of Sompal Kami. Sompal Kami is a good hitter of the ball.
I don't think he's quite as big a hitter as Nandan Yadav. Nandan Yadav seems to me to have a bit of X factor, almost feels very much like the heir apparent to Karen Casey's throne whenever Casey decides to call time in his illustrious career. Well, just draped in glory, the folk hero. the original hero in many ways, alongside the likes of Paris Kadka and Basanta Regmi and Shakti Gaichan and so many others, Binod Das, who will be watching on from all across the world. There is a challenge here for Nepal. It's exactly what they would have expected from Kuwait. They will have not underestimated their opposition in any way, shape or form. If they can only get 130, do you still think they'll have enough with their attack to restrict Kuwait?
Well, they'll have to bowl really well to defend 130 odd runs. They have the bowlers.
Oh, diving effort and a sparkling effort to the highest quality. The skipper, Mohammad Aslam, well, flying through the air, much like Zishan Maksud or maybe Aki Bilias have done for Oman in those World Cups. This would have been one of the best catches of all time. Oh, great effort.
Diving to his right. It would have been the catch of the tournament so far.
Oh, but I think it would have stayed the catch of the tournament. To go with it, I don't really want to call that a drop catch. I actually think he saved three there with the dive. He's so close in at cover too. The full toss from Shiraz Khan has only cost a single.
All the bowlers have bowled pretty well here for Kuwait. The captain, Mohammad Aslam, rotating his bowlers quite well.
Inside edge. And yeah, Bertel is, well, he's playing the anchor, but he just hasn't found any rhythm outside of the power play. There was a bit of a flourish towards the end of it, but it still remains the fact that the final boundary, or the last boundary that was hit in this innings, came off delivery 6.1, 8.5 overs ago. So a real dearth of finding the rope for Nepal. Yeah, this is the third and final match starting at 7 p.m. local time, Paresh. Played entirely under the floodlights, so there shouldn't be a difference in the conditions for the two sides, you wouldn't think?
No, I don't think there'll be any different conditions under lights. It's all about the approach and
Punched into the leg side again, it's just a single. They are scoring off every ball, but really it's just ones and the occasional two. 6 come from the 15th, it's 80 for 4. Nepal have it all to do here in the final 5. And you'll see here in the Manhattan, since that, the boundary was actually hitting the 7th over, so 6.1 on the scorecard, but then he pulled back the rest of that over to Danny Deep with just 3 more singles from it. They haven't hit a boundary. And as a consequence, there are no big overs. The only two with double digits, overs 5 and 6.
that shows how well the Kuwaiti bowlers have bowled. Now Yashin Patel back into the attack. If they can score around 45 to 50 runs in the last 5, they might take it.
Yeah, well, I suppose for Nepal, it's about trying to find a way to get 10 and over off the last 5. 10 and over from here gets you up to 130. It's not par, it's 20 runs under the average at this venue, but it's something. And they've got 6 wickets in hand. You have to take some risk now. I understand the consolidation and the rebuild here, and Bertel moves into the 40s. But Irie, we know his pedigree at this ground. He famously hit those 6 sixes against Qatar in the ACC Premier. They've got to have a go now, and they've got to start finding the rope. 1s and 2s aren't going to be enough in the final 5.
This is excellent bowling by Yashin Patel. Just a single given away in every delivery. Like you said, Lenny, the last boundary came in the 7th over. Now it's the 16th over. Very good bowling by Yashin Patel. Over pitched into the block hole. Just a single. This is exceptional by Kuwait.
Yeah, really good stuff from Kuwait there, continuing to twist the knife. You'd just like to see Nepal try something. Is it coming down the track? Is it looking for a slog sweep? Is it looking to reverse sweep, hit with the spin? But they have to take some risk to find boundaries here. 1s and 2s, not enough.
again, just a single.
Kuwait are just doing all the basics right. Very few extras. Impressive bowling. Generally fielded pretty well, and even though Nepal are running well between the wickets, ones are not enough. 16 bowled, another 6 runs from that over. It's 86 for 4. Only 4 remain. And the fate of this game, it's hanging in the balance, and as a consequence, with the structure of this tournament, the fate of the campaign for Nepal's qualification hangs in the balance on the first night of the tournament. And I have no doubt that Stuart Law will be acutely aware of that. We see Nick Pothas return as a consultant coach, Guy Nendra Malla there in the centre of the shot, the former captain, and some of the subfielders, Lalit Rajbanshi and Asif Sheikh, sitting together. They're trying to stay positive, but it's a nervy-looking Nepal bench.
Yes, it's an early look. 86 for 4 in 16 overs, just 4 overs remain. They have to take risk now. Still 6 wickets in hand. They have to take risk.
Now, Shiraz Khan is going to bowl the 17th, and I think this is going to be a warning here. They're past the 1 minute. Rashid Riaz is... Don't think we've seen a warning yet. That will be the first warning, I suspect. They're well past the 1 minute that they need to bowl. They're over in between. They do that twice more. That will be a 5-run penalty. Keep your eyes on the umpires. We'll try to keep you posted of that too. And you sense that this over, the final one of Shiraz Khan, surely has to be one that Bertel attacks here. Slog sweep up towards the pavilion. Is that the option?
The ball is turning. There's a drift as well. I don't think that can be option. Inside out can be an option.
Goes down the ground, but straight to long off. Doesn't carry. I think at first he thought it was coming straight to him. It's Bilal up there. Maybe just slightly miss-hit off the toe of the bat. Gets away with it. Another single. Down the ground, the fast wrists of Dipender Singh Airi at a venue he adores finally break the shackles. It's the first boundary in more than 10 overs, and it goes to Dipender Singh Airi.
It was overpitched and really hit hard by Dipender Singh Airi straight down the ground for a 6. They need plenty of those if they want to go to a respectable total.
Now goes to the slog sweep, well outside the line, so it's an easy decision for Rashid Riaz. Scamper through for what will be given as a leg bye. Where's that crowd come from? Looks like it's doubled or tripled in size in the last 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, they must have finished their work and came straight to the ground.
Great support. And now that's a big strike. That flies gloriously into the night sky. It's a big, big hit. And the ideal way, the most majestic way, in fact, to bring up the 100. And it is the big over. We speculated it was needed. And Nepal's fans, their 12th player, finally being brought into the contest.
It was not that overpitched, but it went out of the ground.
It's a big hit. Big hit from Kushal Bertel. That's up towards the car park. I hope our driver's car is okay up there. Be driving home with a smash window. Paresh, do we? Great support. Look at that. The entirety of this media centre is basically filled to the hilt.
Guys, live like pani गरिदिनुहोस् है.
Our team. Hope you're enjoying the pictures and the coverage, and you're very welcome along to ICC TV, live and free every brawl of these 21 games. You've got the company of me here, Andrew Leonard, alongside Paresh Lahani, the former Nepal opening batter. Former, you captain at one point, Paresh?
Yes, I was.
Former captain, sorry, I should give you your full title. I'm sorry, my friend, I knew you captain. Former captain and opening batter for Nepal. Bit of pressure on Shiraz Khan. I think Bertel will keep going. We've missed the fact he got to 50 in amongst that beauty. Comes off 46 balls. And Bertel will get the single. So for Bertel, as he brings up that 50, it's yet another 50 in this format for him, where he's got such a good record, a 12th in his career from 63 innings. Career strike rate up at around 130. This one's come off 47 balls. and certainly a knock that has just tilted things back towards the mix for Nepal. We said 130, that would be 10 and over from the last 5. They get 10 and over from the last 3 now. They get up to 132. Given the way this innings is gone, they probably...
Yes, they will probably have to take that 16 runs coming up this the 17th over. It's going to be Anudeep with the 18th over of the innings.
Yeah, he's going to bowl the 2 death overs, isn't he? 18 and 20. As he comes in from the media centre end of the ground here. Cut away. There is protection out there. Looks like Kuwait have really got their plans nailed in terms of which fielder in which position, the angles that they're fielding as well. They haven't given away many.
Yeah, I think they've planned very well against Nepal because they know Nepal's game very clearly. Fielders on the leg side, deep square leg, deep mid wicket, and a long on, and a short fine.
Yeah, 4th time these 2 sides have met in T20I cricket. Nepal hold the edge 2-1, solitary win for Kuwait. Came earlier this year. That was in Hong Kong during the quadrangular series, and I spoke to Mohammad Aslam about that at the toss. He said that victory has given them real belief that they can do it again today on an even bigger stage.
Yes, I heard that, and he even said that you have to be confident, but not overconfident. Never underestimate any team.
Short and wide, they're going to scamper a single or attempt to, and even with Dipender Singh Hari's speed, he's not going to get there because it was straight to the keeper. And it will be the end, well, maybe a pretty selfless piece of running from Dipender Singh Hari, looking for the 1 bonus run and knowing that Gulshan Jah can come in and impact the game in at number 7. I don't really blame him going for that, but there was never a single there. And again, a great piece of keeping. Usman Patel, he really holds a presence of mind to effect that run out.
Yeah, he took his gloves off, and it'll be easier for him to hit the stumps. You have to hit the stumps. A short stay for Dipender Singh Hari, 20 of 19. Nepal 104 for 5.
Always difficult for any umpire. We don't have any DRS, of course. We don't also have the 3rd umpire decisions here. And you'll just see here Rashid Riaz getting into position. Just wonder, can we get that much slower? Irie is so quick, it was all a blur. I think he's got pretty close to getting home there. Might get just one more look at it if we can. And he's no right to get close to getting home, does he? Because it's gone straight to the keeper. And he's got really, really close. I do think it's a good decision. Let's have a look here. He's only out by, well, 9 inches somehow. Great umpiring from Rashid Riaz. Outstanding work from him. Gets the right decision. And it will be Gulshan Jah who comes to the crease. He will be on strike with the run out being affected at the striker's end. Great glove work. He's been excellent throughout the innings. Usman Patel, as Kuwait have 5 wickets. And it's a big final 15 balls from here.
Yes, Nepal has to capitalize on the final 15 balls. Gulshan Jah particularly has to go from the first ball.
He's a strong ability, doesn't he, young Gulshan Jah, to affect a game and impact a game positively as good running gets them a second with a very short window of time. He often comes in, it's one of his first 3 or 4 balls for 4 or for 6, and this is a nice little window for him to work with.
Yes, it is. He's a very impactful player for Nepal. He can hit long sixes. He has a very good range because he's tall. Anudeep is 3rd over, doing a terrific job for his team.
Kuwait's bowlers have been outstanding. Thuds into the pad. Good running will get a comfortable single, but right now Kuwait don't mind singles. And actually, if you offer them 14 more singles to leave 120 on the board, they'd walk off the field now.
Yeah, they'll happily take it. This has been an outstanding bowling performance by Kuwait.
Yeah, fully agree. Just the plans, everything has been spot on. Just pull it up here. I cannot remember many extras at all. Yeah, just the three-leg buys. No complaints about that. One buy which was unlucky, and then one wide in the innings. Really good discipline from Kuwait. For Bertel, he persists to be happy to just take the ones. He will keep the strike. Maybe he's looking to go big in the 19th. Gets us to the end of over number 18. A good one, including the wicket, the run out of Dipender Singh. It's 108 for 5. Who stood out for you amongst the bowlers? Everyone's played their role.
Yeah, in the start, Farouk bowled very good spell. His third over only went for some runs, first 2 overs, and Naveen Raj also bowled very well, 2 Yorkers, Rohit Podel and Kushal Malla.
Amazing to think of Akif Farouk, just 17 years of age, really, really impressive. And I think they might actually be going with Naveen Raj here as late as the penultimate over of the innings. Bertel may be best placed, getting a single here and saying to Gulshan Jah, take on whatever you get served up, whether it's a little in-swinging Yorker or a leg break, and try and pound it downtown. Big over this one, the 19th. Nails the Yorker, unlucky, just a bit of width. Gave Bertel the opportunity to flay his arms at it, skews off an outside edge and races to the rope for 4.
Again, a Yorker ball, but it was a bit wide of the off stump. Got the toe end of the bat, running away fine towards third man for a boundary. A much needed boundary for Nepal.
He's a completely different style of bowler, but his consistency at hitting those Yorkers as a spinner reminds me of Isan Khan of Hong Kong. He basically hasn't missed that Yorker when he's gone for it. I know the line was wrong there, as the Nepal fans, as always, enjoying every second. Not sure what they're chanting. They're loving their time here in Muscat, whatever the case. Again, nails the Yorker, but again, this time it squirts away, a bit more of a square drive. Good answer from Bertel, and a good start to the 19th for Nepal. Back-to-back boundaries.
The placement was excellent by Kushal Patel, opening his face off the bat. It was again a Yorker. Just getting the gap, the placement right. Back-to-back boundaries for Patel. And there's a bit of chat between the captain and the Kuwaiti fielders. As you can see, the Nepali fans in the media box.
Great crowd now, isn't it? And the atmosphere that's building up is outstanding. We're up there. Come on, we'll stand up. I can give you a wave just above the Omantel sign there to 116 on the board. Naveen Raj, I understand the concept of bowling these speared in Yorkers at the death. I just wonder would he have been better finishing his spell earlier, given how well he bowled. And he's now going to have a change of angle, changing from around the wicket. He'll come over the wickets. And Bertel looks to go again. Doesn't quite get the timing he would like, and we'll just pick up the single. Gulshan Jah is only going to look at one area here, isn't he? Over long on, maybe a little bit more towards Cow Corner, or straight down the ground. He's going to be looking for 4s and 6s.
Yeah, he has a very good reach. He's a tall guy. His favorite shot is down the ground, and the slog sweep that he plays so well. 9 runs of the first 3 deliveries of the 19th over.
Reminder again, the average first innings score at this main ground across the course of now the 69th T20I here, just a fraction over 150. Nepal are under par. When Gulshan Jah plays an extraordinary stroke, it's going to go all the way for 6 up towards his teammate. Sandeep Lamachani will do the fielding. We spoke about the potential for the youngster to impact the game in a short period of time. Oh, that's a sensational shot.
Yeah, inside out, giving himself room, played it over extra cover into the dugout off the Nepali players. They had to take evasive action.
Who's jumping out of the way there? That's the trainer, is it? You got to take the catch. Come on. Gulshan Jah, big moment. Gets the score up above 120. Still 8 balls to go. Goes again. Oh, even bigger. Brilliance from young Gulshan Jah. Cannot understand why he wasn't up the order at number 6. It matters not now. The impact he's making, well, possibly game-changing.
Yeah, that is what we were talking about, discussing about Gulshan Jah not coming up the order. Back-to-back sixes. First one a bit straighter one, this one a bit squarer, went to the other oval.
He's just got that additional strength and height, and remarkable to think he's still just a teenager, 19 years of age, and he's such an important cog in this Nepal batting lineup. I think he's got to get up to number 6, but he's having a big impact here at the death. Pressure, real pressure now on Navin Raj. This over's already gone for 21. Tries to go again, fielder out there, over his head. 6, 6, and now 6 more. Outstanding from Gulshan Jah, changing this game, turning it on its head, much to the delight of those Nepal fans. Well, brilliant batting, outstanding batting in fact. Altogether, 27 have come from it, and it's just what Nepal needed. They've been behind the 8 ball for this entire innings, but Gulshan Jah with 20 off just 5, allied with a couple of boundaries from Kushal Patel. Well, it's maybe changing the game in Nepal's favour.
Yeah, the first ball went for boundary. The second ball was hit into the gap. The placement was excellent, and Gulshan Jah 6, 6, and 6, 3 consecutive sixes, getting the total to 135. Still an over remaining for Nepal.
Well, it's audacious batting, isn't it? From an exceptional, prodigious young talent to the highest quality. 20 off 5 on a surface like this has changed the game. Here comes Anudeep. As this one's carted down the ground. That might not be a bad result with the way in which Jah is playing. What can he do with the final 5 balls?
Yes, that is the question for all the Nepali fans. They're in the ground, back home in Nepal and around the world. What can Gulshan Jah get off this last 5 deliveries? A couple of 6s and 4s. They can reach 150.
Said it was the trainer that dropped that one off. Gulshan Jah, it was the physio, Lakendra Kumar, wasn't it? Have to name and shame him. Sure, the players will be having some fun with him. Here comes Anudeep round the wicket. Cleaned up. Good strike back from Kuwait. And it is Anudeep who extends his arms, but Patel taps the gloves of Jah. They know the importance of that cameo, but a great fight back from Anudeep, who again was the player of the match between these two sides in that quadrangular final. Just holds the length back, maybe a slower ball. Outstanding bowling. Good skills from Kuwait.
This is outstanding by Anudeep, rolling his fingers on the ball. Back of the length, store delivery. Gulshan Jah was too early to his shot. That is why he missed. A good cameo played by Gulshan Jah. 20 of just 6 deliveries with 3 6s. Nepal are now 136 for 6.
Momentum, always such an important factor in whatever format of cricket you are playing, but particularly in this T20 format. Interesting they don't go with Nandan Yadav, who I thought would be tailor-made for this situation. 4 balls left. They're going to stick with Sampal Kami. All of his experience down at number 8. Maybe he'll be best served by just trying to get a single, get Patel onto strike. He looks like he could bat throughout this first innings. It's exactly what he does. Great work from the veteran. And Stuart Law was very vocal, wasn't he, Paresh, in the build-up to that West Indies series, the Unity Cup, saying he wants to lose the tag, the cardiac kids. I think that might be hanging around a little bit longer, given what we've seen in this first innings. It's been dramatic stuff, as always, from Nepal.
Yes, even though the head coach is Stuart Law, he wants to get rid of the tag cardiac kids. It is always the cardiac kids that's going to play on the ground.
It's one of the world's great nicknames. I can understand why Stuart Law wants to get rid of it, but the pulse rate is always up. As the heart rate is whenever Nepal play, it's the passion, the excitement, and Kami immediately calls Patel through for the second, and well, great physical endurance from him, because it is still well over 28, 29 degrees there, and you would imagine that he's going to be feeling that heat. He's going to bat through the innings, or close to it now at this stage. Gets back for 2.
Yes, he scored 66 of 55. He was earlier run a ball 36, as I remember, Then he hit couple of sixes and fours, improved his strike rate.
12 T20 I-50 for Kushal Bertel today. He's not going to end unbeaten. He won't bat through the innings. Maybe just that little bit of fatigue kicking in. He's been cleaned up. Anudeep is ending excellently well. Lovely to see that as well. A pat on the back given to him by young Mohammad Akif Farouk. Good spirit of cricket on show there. And again, I think it's that leg cutter, the back of the hand slower ball. Excellent skills from Anudeep.
Excellent. Only 3 runs given away and 2 wickets taken in the last over. What an over Anudeep has bowled. 3 fours and 3 sixes for Bertel, gone for 66. Nepal 139 for 7.
I think given the surface that we've seen, and given just how testing it proved to be in that first match, remember UAE for much of that encounter against Qatar looked as though they were going to struggle to chase down the 120 or 119 that they needed to win. I think that innings of 66 off 56 could, at the end of tonight, prove to be worth its weight in gold. Very well played. Won't quite bat the innings. And here's Nandan Yadav. Well, look out for the bat speed. There's only going to be one thing attempted here. He's going to try and hit this over the sight screen and up towards the Al Emirat Hills. Might try and hit it to the moon, knowing this young man been working hard in the gym. The final ball of the first innings. Nepal of 139 for 7. What can they get to? Good bat speed on show, but should just be the single. They're going to try take on the second, and a bit of chaos will allow them to get home. Good running and great effort from Sampal Kami to get home for 2. Somehow Nepal have driven up to over 140. It didn't look likely for the vast majority of that first innings, but thanks to an exceptional effort from Gulshan Jah, a good innings, a stable innings from Kushal Bertel, Nepal will finish with 141 for 7. But a special mention for Anudeep, a wonderful effort with the ball from him, 2 for 22. Just the 4 batters got to double figures. A tricky innings for Nepal, Paresh.
Yes, it is. And 66 for Bertel, the highest run scorer. Dipender Singh ID 20, and Gulshan Jah, what a cameo. He played 20 of 6. 141 the total for Nepal, losing 7 wickets.
Yeah, and for the bowlers, well, Anudeep, absolutely the star of the show. Remember, he was the player of the match. Maybe the one surprise the youngster didn't get his 4th and final.